And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this episode number I cannot even remember of A Song of Tara.
57.
57! Thank you. It's good to have attentive players. We are almost. Almost all of us are here today. Unfortunately, we are without Hille, who is incapable of joining us for today, but the rest of the players are in fact here. And well, I think we should get a quick recap of last time, and then we'll get right into it. But before we do that, I should of course point out that no, you did in fact not miss anything. There was no episode last week because several of us, yours truly included, was unable to play, and when the storyteller isn't able to play, it's kind of difficult to run anything. But yes, on that note, shall we have a recap, Chris?
Yes, we shall. Following last time on Song of Tara, following our defeat of Gina Masterson, we, in rough order, euthanized the wolf, continued dragging the moonlight net through the River Liffey to clean it. We were helped by some ghosts, and we made a promise to little Trisha to try and help find where she was buried so we could, help her move on. It was all a bit creepy, but also quite heartbreaking, and that was all fine. Then we some of us started getting little movies appear on our phones of our various loved ones and friends dying horribly, because, that really inspires people to soldier on. We then got caught on some strange blackened skeleton that we found out was some kind of weird imprisoning device that agents of the worm use. We broke it, perhaps not very intelligently, but we did, and in doing so released an ancient, powerful, and very angry banshee who, after some miscommunications due to language barriers, sort of decided she'd let us live and go and sort of maybe help. I'm not quite sure who or what she represents. I mean, unless I'm much mistaken, the banshee would be one of the Fae, but I don't know if they.
And she
I don't know if
she's one.
I don't.
She'd actually told you who she was representing.
Yes, of course. It's just a case of I wonder how well she'll get along with the modern Fae, but
probably not terribly well. No.
No, but that's another kettle of fish entirely. At the time, we weren't that concerned because we had to get the job done, and even as we did that, more and more images of dead loved ones and friends kept coming in, so we kept soldiering on, and eventually, after much, it all got to its worst point when Taryn received images out at Tara where most of the Fina guarding the sacred cairn there were dead, and it was all looking a bit miserable. Well, we sort of came to the realization, well, quite frankly, even if we do defeat this, and it will lead to some degree of victory, the spiritual heart of the Fina tribe is basically gone. It's been overrun, so that's not great. And then after sort of trudging through the darkness, feeling quite miserable and mopey as werewolves in this setting are wont to do when they're not feeling angry, we bumped into this strange old man who claimed to be able to help us with our problems, at least in some part. He offered to help us change things, in that we could do something. We could go somewhere else, not necessarily back in time, but somewhere else. And in doing so, we could save all of the people we had lost at the cost of something else. Some other great tragedy would have to happen by our actions in order for this to work. He also said that we weren't bound to do this. If we wanted to, we could continue trawling the Liffey as we were, and we would be successful before sunlight broke, and it would be a victory, but would it be the victory that necessarily we wanted? So after much emotional conflabbing on behalf of the pack, and some words of bolsterment from Liffey herself, we decided, you know what, it's worth taking a risk, let's go for it. So we accepted his offer, and we got transported, to our knowledge, to a version of the area that will eventually become Dublin about 1,000 or 2 years ago.
About 2000.
Yeah, 2,000 years ago. It's all sort of peasants in muddy villages, and everyone looks at Liam and thinks he is Cushulan because in some way he is, and we've all basically realised we've got to go all the way out to Tara to fulfil some part of an ancient story and do our whatever we need to do in order to save those we lost at the cost of some great tragedy. And the last we left off, we were making our way briskly but measuredly in the direction of Tara.
Yes.
So,
The old man, it should be said, the old man whom you saw on the bridge, quite importantly, introduced himself as Lou.
I must have missed that.
He did say at some point that his name was Lou. Anyway, yes, that is pretty much the situation. And yeah, as far as I recall, you got into the Umbra and you saw. You went. There was a village that you went by, where they, as you said, they thought that Liam is Cushulan, and then from there you went out towards Tara, indeed. And yep, that's pretty much it. And you are now happy. You are now basically you are leaving, or about to leave, I should say. You hadn't, as far as I recall, just not quite left just yet, but let me see if I can get this thing to work at all. It doesn't seem to be particularly the hell. I have some problems here with the how many issues must I have with the software today? Anyway, guys, you are about to leave this charming little village, looking pretty much like this.
Yeah.
You should be able to see it. There you go.
Very pointy.
Yes, it's those things are known nowadays, not surprisingly, as roundhouses, and that was the prevailing kind of building in most of Iron Age Britain, Ireland and England and Scotland and Wales.
Yes.
So, yes. This is what you are basically looking at, but you wanted to head out towards Tara. Am I right? Yes. And they had offered you horses, but then you had basically told them we don't really need them, and you had and you had started heading off. And this is indeed the case. You obviously don't really need them, and once you've made or you've put some distance between yourselves and the village, if you should want to use all fours, you can do so, except of course for Taryn, who can only use all threes.
Still, probably a little faster than just walking.
Yeah, or you can go into at least into Krenos and have much greater, longer legs and much greater stamina. So
Stamina is the same in Hespo and in
yeah, but much greater than in Homid, though, is what I mean. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One thing is what I didn't catch last time was that you mentioned his name was Lou. I don't know why I didn't pick up on that, but had I done so, I'd have looked him up and found out what I have now found out and going to keep quiet about. So maybe bring it up later.
Yes, please do, because I don't know who it is. So
Well, the point is we're running in Lupus or Hispo at the moment. So maybe when we go back to having mouths that can form human words,
Yes.
Yep.
Ali can roll a check and see if he knows if the name has any particular consequence.
Yes.
Well, I suppose we all can, really. assuming we have the proper
Yes,
skills to do so.
indeed.
I would probably say that it's very unlikely that Marty is able to.
I think that's very unlikely indeed.
Yep.
Oh yes, I am suddenly an expert on Irish mythology.
Yes.
I just happen to be.
That just makes so much sense. In quite frankly, I think the only two people here who have any reason to know anything about British mythology in general would be Liam and Taliesin, although Taryn may have picked up a few things here and there. Also, there is a massive amount of echo again.
There is.
Yes, there is.
I'm actually hearing it too.
Well, it would be weird if it's from me because I use push to talk.
Yeah, you use push to talk, yes.
Let me try muting mine, see if that helps.
Let's see if that... Oh, yeah. No, there's still something. I don't know what it is. It's fine, guys. It's fine. We have to live with it. Until we are a massive, famous channel with a few million subscribers and we can buy these super professional sound setups, then we're just gonna have to deal.
Yeah.
Okay. But you guys head out to Tara. It takes you... even on all fours, or as it said, if you could have just gone on all fours and just sprinted, it would have been something. But because Taryn doesn't have all four legs in that form, it's still faster than in Homid, but it's not nearly as fast as it would otherwise be.
No, but we'll have to
Yeah.
to stick together. So.
Exactly. So you get there eventually, and it takes you. About 35 kilometers, 40 kilometers out there, so it would take you probably about 4 hours, maybe 3 hours. Let's say 3 hours. All in all, I mean, there's no roads and no maps, and you have to stop and reorient often.
Yep.
You pass several more little villages looking much like this one, except maybe only 4 houses or 5 along the way. That seems to be quite normal. You can easily tell that it's quite possible that more than one family lives in each house, and even if it is only one family, it's usually maybe 7 or 8 people. So yeah. They are not exactly rolling in. They're not exactly rolling in space. Obviously, it's not as if they have huge, luxurious rooms.
But I think they have plenty of space to expand into, though.
It's also they also have a very what's it called? It's a very social kind of living. Obviously. They really get to know.
It sounds dreadful.
They really get to know each other. Anyway, you get there to Tara eventually, and I'm going to swap you over to another map so you have an aerial view of what Tara looks like.
Hi, Tara.
Hi, indeed. But that is what the area looks like in present day. Obviously, what you are seeing is fortified.
Yes.
But this is the general layout of the place. Up here, this dell, if you would, up here, this deepening in the landscape, is the longhouse, and there is actually a longhouse up there. And just so, I mean, look at some of the houses out by out by the road for comparison. You will be able to tell that this is a massive structure. It's huge. You can also see there's an extra up here. There's a bit, there's some fortifications up there. And there's also further fortification down slightly outside the bottom of the picture, but there's some further, a half circle that's also got a palisade and is fortified down there. Otherwise, the fortifications basically follow the outline outside where the tree line is running. There's a ditch and an embankment, and the embankment is fortified with log with a log palisade. And while you are standing there and you are looking at it, at least at a distance, it seems very busy. There are quite a lot of people moving around up there.
Are there any signs of struggle, combat?
No, not here.
Okay.
No signs of struggle or combat in where you are now. This is a busy place. You can see people with horses coming and going, people on foot for that matter. There are a few carts being drawn by oxen as well, because big strong creatures with heavy capable of pulling quite heavy loads. They are basically used far more widely than horses for that purpose. You estimate you can probably, from where you're standing, you can probably see maybe 300 or 400 people. That makes this a very sizable place.
Okay. Well, before they reach the fortifications, Liam turns around to look at his packmates and asks, "So, any ideas?"
Deep silence.
Yes, deep silence.
Well, I sort of have to mute every time because it seems it's mine that starts catching everything you say through my headset.
Oh.
And that's why you have the echo.
Any ideas about what?
Well, I can't say if Taryn's ever been here, so I don't even know
No,
what the place looks like.
Well, she's been here early on in the story, very early on when this is where you ran and found the place completely deserted one night. So, but that was in the real world, not in wherever you are now.
Yeah.
All right.
That would basically be what we're looking at now, wouldn't it?
Yes, that would be what you had seen. This is also some of what you've seen in when you've seen these images that got sent to you from the fighting out there. Basically, the piles of corpses are centered around the two small areas here in the middle. These two, in fact, here this one is extremely important. This is the known as the King's Stone. Basically, all Irish Rees are sworn in on the sacred stone in the middle.
Okay.
So yeah, of course the Fina will give their lives to defend that particular place, and they have, from what you've seen. That's the point. They've literally died standing defending that place.
Well, the way I see it, we've got two options. We either go to the center of what was or is the cairn, let's see if we wait for something there, or we go to the long house of the Ree and actually speak to someone there.
Yes.
I mean, you are, after all, the great hero, Kushulan. I'm sure that they'll love you rocking up and starting to make demand.
I'm sure they would. Well, yeah, let's go into the center of the place first and see if there's any indication of the man we're looking for.
At this point, storyteller, I would like to roll that check regarding knowing characters, potentially
Yes.
recognizing a name from Irish mythology.
Absolutely. Let's have the roll.
What do I need to roll?
You need to roll. What is it called? I'd say you don't have history or anything of the sort, do you? No, I'd say roll enigmas and academics. That's a skill, isn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
that's
it's
knowledge.
a knowledge, yeah.
Yes.
Academics is your schooling.
Yes. Use that plus intelligence.
See what we get.
Yeah.
That's a no.
Solid no.
Solid no.
Ah, well. It was hoping.
It was indeed. But you do have absolutely no clue about this. Well, you do out of character, obviously, but in character, it doesn't ring a bell at all. You're just,
Of course. No.
It's all a bit hazy, to put it mildly. Too many things have happened, if nothing else, in too short a time, and you can't think of it. Anyway, yes.
So as they start, I'm assuming this is what they'll do as they start moving toward the center of the fortifications. Basically, as I understand it, at least here.
Yes.
Liam looks to Marty and says, "It would be good if you could keep your taintometer running as we move about here in this place."
I can.
You can indeed.
Good.
So I will just see if I can activate my taintometer.
Your taintometer.
Well, he is good at sniffing, but I'm sure he can find the taint.
True.
That's actually a good question. Which form would Marty be in?
Yeah, well, that's up to you, obviously.
Would anyone have objected if he stayed in wolf form?
Nope.
Nobody there, at least, would know.
In that case, he's a doggo.
It's a proper wolfhound.
Yes.
Besides, this is the age.
See.
This is the age of heroes and gods. People won't look too
Exactly.
too thoroughly at a wolf walking around among us.
Alright. So I just wanted to see if being in lupus gave me any bonuses to perception, but it's just a -2 difficulty to perception rolls. I don't think it works particularly well.
No, you don't really get anything either.
It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
Yep. Seems like it. Well, we start moving toward the fortification.
Yes, you move towards the fortifications, and you get. Nobody stops you. I mean, first and foremost. Nobody gets in your way. Nobody stops you. You are entirely at liberty to walk up to up to the fortifications, if nothing else. And they.
And do they look like they've just seen Superman, or do they just?
When you get closer, and they can actually see who you are, then they certainly stop and do a double take, and you can several of the guards stop and some of them stop and look at each other and go, did you see, or is that him, or that sort of thing, basically.
Yep.
And that's that's basically what you get out of it. And
But no one stops us.
Nobody stops you, especially once they start talking to each other about who you are. Then nobody is in any hurry to get in the way of you. Fuck no, all the no plus no. So yeah, they look, but they do. I mean, they don't get in your way, but they do look a little confused. And you realize it may have something to do with the fact that Cullen was an Ulsterman, as it said. I mean, he was from Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
and specifically defended the Ree from from way up there, and whose name was that Ree's name was Connor, and but the fact that he is now this far south obviously is something that quite a few that would obviously create some stir and some hushed whispers, which is exactly what's happening. And you are but you are met not quite right away, but very soon after getting inside the fortifications. You are met by a young man who comes up towards you and bows very, very respectfully, very I won't say reverentially, but it's clear that he is somewhat awestruck. You can tell on his face. His eyes are wide open as he looks at this group of people who have arrived, and he looks directly to Liam and says, "Greetings. What do we owe the honor of a visit from the Hound of Ulster? What can we do what can we do for you, my lord?"
You can go about your business, lad, and I am here looking for someone.
Maybe I can help with that. I live here, after all.
Maybe you can. I am looking for a man goes by the name of McAlpin.
Oh.
Have you heard that name?
Oh, no, but I know that it is a name, by the sound of it, it's a name used by the Milesians. I don't know anyone by that name personally, but I know it's a Milesian name.
Indeed.
They are the enemies of all of Edan.
Yes, quite so. Well, like I said, you can go about your business, and
certainly, my lord.
Should you see or hear anything or notice anyone whom you may suspect as the enemy, you come to me.
Of course. Naturally, I will. You might wish to speak to the druid. He is probably the person who knows the most in this place.
I shall.
His name is Fergal. You will find him. You will find him yonder, he says, and points towards where the center, the two what are they called? The two circles in the ground. He points up towards the stone.
Okay.
So roughly here.
Yeah.
And at this time, you are standing pretty much where the church is in the picture now. You're up here.
Yep.
And he says there. He is not always the most pleasant or welcoming of men, but he is very knowledgeable. And then then he bows and backs away.
Well, Liam starts walking toward the stone then.
Yes. You get there with, again, nobody is particularly in a hurry to get in the way.
I sense the stone.
You sense the stone. Yes. Let's get a roll. Oh, that's a lot better. So you.
I at least assume I can try once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you, yes, you sense, and there is, in fact, a remarkable absence of worm taint in the vicinity. There is nowhere near the background taint that you would, that you find in modern nights. It is a cleaner and purer time, quite simply.
Everything feels so nice. Muddy mutters mostly to himself.
Liam's busy scanning the area for the druid.
Well, you do see one man who is clearly giving everyone else orders. He is in a more advanced stage of life than any of the others near the stone. He's not. What is it called? He's very difficult to determine an age of. You can't tell exactly how old he is because he could probably be 50 and look like someone who's 70, considering the harshness of life for these people. But he does look like he's rather advanced in age.
You bloody hooligans, get off my land!
Yes.
Get off my rock!
And bring me some cider.
Yes. Well, it's better they get to make an NSFW joke. It's better that they get off his rock than they get his rocks off.
Oh yeah. Well. Okay. Thank you for that delightful mental image.
You're welcome.
Okay. Well, you head towards him.
Yep.
Before you reach him, however, you are intercepted by a man who looks to be in his mid-30s, who steps up near you. He is powerfully built. He's wearing a rather plain tunic and some equally plain trousers. He is not armed, but he does carry himself with a great deal of authority, and he says, "Pardon me, strangers, but who are you to go near the Ree Stone?"
Liam looks at the man and says, he looks at him. No, he doesn't look at him indignantly, because no. He looks at the man as if Liam has a purpose, and is mildly annoyed that the man has stepped into across his path.
Yeah.
And he says, he doesn't introduce himself yet. He just says, "I'm here to speak with the druid of this."
Well, you have found him, he says. That would be me.
Excellent.
Fergal is my name, and who might you be?
I am Cthulhu of Ulster.
Ah, the Hound. You are far south.
Yes, indeed I am.
Then, how may I...
And for some reason, people keep being surprised at that.
Well, he says... Well, first and foremost, it is a long journey, and secondly, the wars between yourselves and Maeve's army is only recently at an end. I would imagine that there was much to be done in Ulster at this time, but I suppose Connor has that all rather well in hand.
Yes.
That is excellent news. Maeve is no friend of ours either.
No.
If I'm in any way able to help you, I should be honored to do so.
Well, there's a purpose to my journey this far south, and I am looking for a man who goes by the name of McAlpin.
I see, he says, and smiles crookedly. Well, he says, and you know, he's clearly thinking about this for a while, and then he says, that name is known to me, and the fact that it is known to you tells me a few things about you. You see, the McAlpin family doesn't exist yet, but their ancestors do. And the fact that we are speaking here in this manner tells me that you are not from around here or from around this time any more than I am.
That's true. That's true.
This just got very weird.
We are not from this time.
Very well.
Our quest remains the same, though.
Yes, I fully understand. I may be able to help you. In any case, as I said, my name is genuinely, legitimately Fergal. There's no... I'm not tricking you in that regard. I am...
Well, I might have... I'm ashamed to admit I might have tricked you. I am not Cthulhu.
I do believe you are. Maybe not directly, but I do believe you are nonetheless.
I would say I am off Cthulhu.
Well, that would obviously do. He says, but I have been here for a few years. I'm not really in any hurry to go back to whence we came, if you would. I can do a lot of good here, and I do. I am of the verbena tradition, and I am not certain exactly what you are, and I will not pry. But you are outsiders, which means that the fact that I'm telling you this should at least mean something to you. I might, as I said, be able to help you, but as I also said, McAlpin does not exist yet. Can you tell me more? I will do what I can, but can you tell me more? If you can't, I understand, but...
I think at this point, Liam looks at, well, all three of his packmates were there, and basically inviting them to join the conversation.
Well,
Marty's a dog, and
Oof.
he doesn't know if this man understands hero speech, since he's a mage.
yeah. Okay, well, I think Tally will look at Liam and say, "Well, this fine fellow did say he wouldn't try, but would it behoove us to tell him what we are, or does that need to be a secret?"
No, I think it's he looks at the man for a brief moment, a brief second, and this is, I think it's safe to say that we are Garou.
Very well, he says. Well, that does explain how you came to be here. If you had been mortal men like most others, I would have been surprised, to say the least. I don't expect you know precisely where you are, since this is a very, very well hidden corner of the Umbra, but that is indeed where you are. You are in the Umbra. This is a very, well, it's a private place. Let's say it that way. It's not many of us come here, but it is more than it looks. it is a gateway. It is possible to go from here to many places. And you need to find a man who has not yet been born.
Yes.
Right now, should you leave the Umbra, you would find yourself in the final century BC. You wouldn't find a whole lot out there. It does mean I'm a little surprised as to how you got to be here exactly. Who sent you here?
Some middle-aged fella by the name of Lou.
Yes.
That's interesting. Says he's supposed to be your dad, he says, and looks at Liam. Well, Kushulan's anyway.
Well, you've got a silver fox for a dare, haven't you, Liam?
Liam doesn't answer. I think his jaw dropped to the ground. He's a bit. I think all that's happening is taking its toll on him.
Yes. Well, as he says that's the point. I realize he's obviously not your father, but he was Kushulan's father.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, the thing about Kushulan, he says, is that he is supposed to be representative. He's more than just a hero. I mean, you've probably heard all the stories in school as well. But he is more than just a hero to the Irish. He is a symbol more than anything, really, and he is an embodiment of the Irish spirit and will to not give in and resist. Every generation of Irishmen throughout the ages have, when they have been under the occupation of Norwegian Vikings, they would invoke him. When they were under occupation by Normans, they would invoke him. When the English came, they would invoke him. And they invoked him for centuries while the English ruled in Ireland. Every rebellion, in some spirit, some way, shape or form, would call upon Kushulan or the spirit of Kushulan to guide them and to drive out the foreigners. So you are the embodiment of something more than you are more than Guru at this point, he says. You are more than that. And I don't know what it is you need to find this McAlpin for. I take it that it's nothing good. You are clearly capable people. You're here in strength. I assume that this is going to end up being bloody and violent. Well, be that as it may, he says, I'm Irish as well, and if Kushulan, or one of his descendants in this case, needs my help, I shall be happy to give it. But if you need to find him, you won't find him in this age. And to my knowledge, there is only one way, there's only one place in the Umbra where time doesn't mean anything. I can get you there, but it is not without risk. I just need you to know this before I do so.
Well, risk isn't a problem for
All right.
us. We need to do this.
Very well. I'm referring to the Flux Realm. It is
About to say,
it's the one place where time is as malleable as creation itself. People do go mad in that place. I doubt you will, but I wouldn't suggest that you stay there for too long. I can't tell you exactly how to get to where you want to be. It's different for everyone. But you may have to find a way out or you will have to find a way out that in some way relates to what it is you're trying to do. I can get you in. Normally it is very, very hard to get in. The Weaver's web is extremely thick around Flux Realm, because it is the last place truly of the wild. It's a place where everything changes all the time, hence the name. It's pure creation, and the Weaver has locked it in. It means, though, that when you have to go out, it will be very difficult.
It has to relate to why we're here.
In some way, yes.
Saving Dublin Island, cleansing the River Liffey, the spirit of that river.
Well,
Maybe we'll find-
if that is indeed what you are here to do, then I am absolutely at your service. That is an honorable goal.
Yes. Where we are, we came here of our choosing. And the choice before us was simple. We either come here and change something, recover what we lost at the cost of some other tragedy, or we accept that which we had already lost. Although we might succeed in our tasks there, the consequences might be more than we can make up for with that victory.
So it was a damned if you do and damned if you don't situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Life seems to be full of those.
Yep.
In any case, he says, I shall not take up any more of your time than I absolutely have to, but if you do have questions, by all means ask them.
Liam looks at his packmates and asks, "Would you mind if we wait just 5 minutes before doing what we have to do? I would really like to just sit down and take this all in."
Makes sense. Would be smart.
I think we have some time here.
You have all the time you need, he says. Again, the Flux Realm is, well, time moves in mysterious ways, as does everything else in that place. You could stay here a year and still do what you need to do.
Well, if that's the case, then, Liam, I think it might be to our benefit if we take a little bit more than 5 minutes.
Yes.
As long as we need, I think.
Yes, I think so.
Maybe rest a bit.
Yes. Gather our strength.
Yeah, some of us are still feeling a little battered, particularly after that banshee. Tally says, while patting his ears, we can still hear a bit of ringing.
Yeah, obviously. Are any of you visibly wounded?
Checking my health level now.
Nope.
I'm not.
Also, we haven't heard anything from you for a while, so if you're muted, that might be why.
I know I am.
Okay, just wanted to be sure. Well, there's he says
And Taryn's obviously muted.
well, that he says
Not muted.
no, but
Wounded.
wounded. Yes. He looks at Taryn and says to you, "Do you need help? I could help with your wounds."
No thanks.
As you wish.
Yeah. I'm not doing too hot. I don't mind getting some mending.
Very well. He says, we should probably not do that out here where everybody can see, but if you come with me, I'll help.
Right.
He takes you across the compound and out the gates. At the bottom of the photo, there's a gate. And he takes you to a hut nearby, one of these, well, not a hut, but one of these roundhouses, and enters it. It's empty, but, well, it's not empty, it's full of stuff, but there are no other people in there, is the point. And he says, well, this, I know, is not exactly it's not exactly equipped with all the modern amenities that you might be used to, but I'm quite comfortable here, actually, he says, and he takes a mortar and pestle off a small table, and he crunches up some herbs in it, pours it into a not an alembic, what's it called, a small pot over the fire, boils it up with some water, and just beckons for you to take a seat. It's going to take a little while for it to be done.
If this is the Umbra, then consuming spirits would help you restore gnosis at a rapid rate, right?
Yes.
Consuming spirits.
Well, that's what we've been doing when we've eaten dinosaurs and shit like that.
Yep.
In that case, Marty will suggest that some of them go hunting.
I think Liam would like at least 5 minutes just to himself, just taking everything in, and have a few moments to ponder everything that's happened. But after that, he would be more than happy to join in a hunt. So if they can wait that long, then yes, Liam would join.
Well, Marty is not impatient. He can definitely wait.
Right.
I also forget, how do we recover willpower?
You get one back per day from sleep.
And that's it.
You can get one back if you do something and believe that this is something which, you feel realistically should bolster your confidence enough that you can get a willpower point back. That you also get them for playing according to your nature and demeanor, but we don't really use them very much, so...
I don't think I've even picked any for Marty. Okay, because basically I would want to recover gnosis and willpower. That's the only resource I'm missing.
Yeah, gnosis is recoverable. Willpower, you'd have to rest.
Well, we did say we would rest to recover our strength, so that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about Taryn? What does she want to do?
She'll just patiently wait for the leader.
All right. Well, back in the roundhouse then, the druid Fergal gives Tally the drink or potion or what you want to call it after a while, and you see his hands when he holds it out towards you in a pot. He says it won't taste very good, but it'll help. And it won't taste nice. It's quite foul, I'm told, but it will help. And then he smiles, and his hands shimmer a little for a moment, and then he hands it over to you. Chris? Hello?
Muted. Yes, Tally takes it.
Yep.
And says to Fergal, no modern amenities, but considering who and what you are, I don't think that matters much. Lechilda. And that's basically him saying cheers.
Yep.
Or whatever, the closest I can get to saying it. And, yeah, drinks the stuff.
Yes.
And probably grimaces as he does so.
It does taste absolutely, deplorable, horrible, awful.
He probably makes a face like he's been systematically sucking a lemon for the last hour.
Yeah, pretty much.
His face has become like this cat sphincter of pain.
Yeah. Yes, but you get through it, and it does in fact restore 3 health levels for you.
Oh, how convenient. That's exactly how many I had
Oh.
missing. So
Nice.
I am recovered.
Yes. Recover it.
Well, you were right about the taste, but I do feel a heck of a lot better.
That's good. He says and looks at you for a moment. By the way, I should let you know that these are not modern times, as I'm sure you can tell, and modern sensibilities don't apply here. Which means that in order for me to open the bridge for you to go to the Flux Realm, I have to do something which you guys might think is problematic.
Does someone or something need to be sacrificed?
Yes.
It can.
What does?
We have a number of people here, prisoners of prisoners of war, to not to put too fine a point on it. The thing is, they will be killed anyway, and I can make it fast.
You've got to love that utilitarianism, haven't you?
Well, blood is blood.
Indeed it is. Well,
Believe me, if I use his blood for this, he will suffer for a relatively short time rather than if he is sacrificed and thrown into one of the bogs. Because that really will hurt.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't pretend that I can't pretend that it doesn't affect me, but I recognize our necessity. Besides, I've killed my fair share of innocents to get stuff done.
Well, taking a life should never be easy. It isn't for me either, but as I said, either he will suffer greatly and for a long time, or very briefly. So.
Well, in that case, I think I'd better be the one to go and break this news to them. They might take it a little better.
Probably a good idea.
All right, I'll go join them, and we might all come back and see you when we're all ready.
Yes.
So he heads off to go and rejoin the pack.
Yes. You find them in the same place as they were before, with Liam looking like he's got the weight of the world crushing his shoulders at that moment.
Yep. So, did he heal your wounds, Taliesin?
He did, most
Good.
effectively.
Good.
He also took the time to explain to me how it is he's going to open the door to let us go where we need to go. And I'm letting you know now, all of you, because some of you are probably going to protest about it, but it needs to be done. He's going to, considering the time, he's going to take a war criminal and he's going to sacrifice him in order to open the gate.
And no one objected.
Nope.
Total
Nope.
silence.
So we're all good with that then?
Yes.
Okay,
We are.
just checking. I mean, I'd feel a bit uncomfortable, but that's
Oh, hell yes. This is uncomfortable, but this whole thing is weird, and we need to do this. So, yeah, it needs to happen.
Before we do go on, I know you want to take the time to stop and process, Liam, but considering what you saw on your phone, are you holding up all right?
No.
And I kind of know the feeling.
I'm just about ready to, I don't know, give up, but I know we can't.
No.
But no, I'm absolutely not doing okay.
I mean,
I wouldn't expect you to be either.
No, but I make a point of being good at listening to people when they have something they want to vent.
And you are damn good at it, Thaddeus.
We're here doing this now, and if we succeed, we'll save them all. It's got to mean something.
Yes.
All right. So, what do we do now?
We hunt.
Excellent. Out of character, I just want to point out that it is 3 minutes past 8.
Yes. And actually, we are going to take our first break right here, and we will be right back with more A Song of Tara in just a moment, so please stick around.